You guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. We are here once again for a Serie A match day review. We're just on the match day 3, guys. It's just match day 3, and things are kicking off already on and off the pitch. It's like that meme. What a week, Captain. It's Wednesday. Well, Captain, it's match day 3. Let's kick things off with how things have kicked off. Literally in the last couple of hours, Rafael Leao versus Paolo Di Canio, Lazio legend and generally football legend, but known for some controversial opinions, not only about football but politically as well. And he went in. If you know what happened at the weekend, Lazio Milan, we'll talk about the match quickly after. But after Leao and Theo came on and they equalized, they had the cooling break, which is because it's been hot in Italy, they're still having the cooling breaks in each half. And Theo and Leao, unlike the other substitutes for Milan, Tammy and Musa, if I'm correct, they joined the team when the cooling break was going on. But Theo and Leao, as you can see them pictured top left, they did not. And that's been causing a lot of controversy in the Milan fan base, but just even outside of the Milan fan base, people criticizing both Theo and Leao for this. And I think quite rightly, I think Fonseca downplayed it, and other people tried to downplay it as they just came on. Like what instructions could Fonseca really give these guys now that they've just come in? The issue is, as Di Canio has said, this is kind of a lack of respect towards the coach or the rest of the team. And we've seen in the past, Leao doesn't take well to public criticism. Cassano in the past has criticized them, and Leao has gone back to him. But today, what Leao did is basically posted the picture of, actually, let me just try to get it up here because you have to see it. People from my era probably remember it, but this is a viral picture of Di Canio from back in the day when he celebrated doing the kind of fascist salute towards Lazio fans. Shock. But Leao just tweeted that just about an hour ago. So again, showing that maybe he's not very good at taking criticism, but at the same time, I don't blame him. If someone like Di Canio is criticizing your character, I can see why he's firing back. But at the same time, I don't think it really helps the situation. It doesn't help, his reputation as being kind of thin-skinned, which I think, again, as I said, I think he's shown it in the past. But going to the game, I mean, I did a quick short video on it. Milan showing the same issues going forward when they've got, when Leao and Theo came on, they can turn it on. In the first half, it was just from a corner from Pavlovic. But apart from that, very susceptible defensively. Why the hell have they spent 15, 18 million on Emerson Royale? He's even better than Calabria. I'm not really sure. The bar is low, but even then, I think Emerson Royale doesn't reach that bar. Terracciano looks like he's just not Milan level. Pavlovic does look like a good signing, but Tomori, since that Scudetto season, seems like he hasn't recovered to those levels. Fonseca tried to make a big statement by leaving Leao and Theo out of the team. Didn't really work out. I mean, his position is already looking not good. On the other side, Lazio looked really good. Nuno Tavares, what a performance, 2 assists, but outside of that, monstrous. Really finally looked like maybe he could be achieving that potential that, Arsenal signed him for, Marseille signed him for, he has always had the potential. How old is he now? 24. So yeah, very, very, he's got plenty of time. Outside of that, Dia and Castellanos look like they've got a decent partnership going, but Lazio as well didn't look very good defensively every time Milan, seriously attacked them. They look very, very susceptible at the back. But again, I think I'm sticking with my prediction with Lazio. I think what did I put them 7th or 8th, around that kind of area. But Milan, I'm starting to reevaluate my prediction. I predicted them to finish 2nd. I still want to predict them. I think the quality is too good for them to not finish outside of top 4, especially of the summer they've had. They've made some good signings. So I'm still going to keep them top 4, but maybe now just about top 4. And the Napoli, I'm going to maybe move them up above Milan now, who had a crazy game. As I'm saying, this league, we love this league, you know. Already in match day 3, so much drama on the pitch, off the pitch. You know, if this this layout thing was happening in England in the Premier League, it would be Rashford releasing like, you know, very PR focused statement from, you know, his PR team, and, you know, about maybe he will start doing some sort of feeding the kids campaign. But in Serie A, everything's a little bit more, you know, rustic, let's say. And this was a very rustic match. Bad decision, I think, from the referee. I don't think Suzuki deserved the red card for winning the ball. Yes, there was a bit of follow through, but I don't think it deserved. Did he get a straight red card? I thought it was a second yellow. But, you know, Parma were winning up until that point. So basically that moment is what ended up losing the game for Parma. Lukaku on his debut, as often he does, scores on his debut, reunited with Antonio Conte, and then Anguissa sealed it. But even then, Parma had the chance to equalize towards the end. Again, Boni finally scoring, but still looking impressive up front. He's been, yeah, I'm going to pick him as my player to watch from this Parma team ahead of, like, a lot of people have picked Dennis Mann or Bernabé. But I'm really watching this Boni guy. I'm very, very interested in him. Shout out to Del Prato, who actually had to go in goal towards the end. It didn't really, you know, he couldn't make any saves, but in the end, fair play to him for going in. And then now, you know, Napoli, they've signed all the players that Antonio Conte wanted to sign, really. McTominay's come in, Gilmour, the 2 Scottish boys, David Neres, Spinazzola, and Osimhen looks like he might be going off to Turkey, to Galatasaray. So they've got rid of the people they wanted to get rid of, and they brought in the players that Antonio Conte wanted to bring in. So now, after match day 3, finally, now we can say he has no excuse. It has been a bit chaotic up until now for Conte. Not his fault, but now he definitely has a team good enough to cook to get back into the top 4. Let's see what he does with it. And I am predicting them to comfortably finish in top 4. What do you guys think of Napoli? Moving on to the other team, the team that are wearing the kit of right now, Fiorentina. I'm kind of worried, you know, they are not looking good. Palladino playing against the team he was coaching for the last 2 seasons. I was a big fan of Palladino at Monza. I was very impressed with what he did at Monza. But what he's doing at Fiorentina, till now, it's not looking good. Of course, he deserves time and he needs time. But, you know, usually you can start seeing the signs of a good coach even early on in pre-seasons or first few games. But with Fiorentina, you know, they've been 4-3-3 for the last 3 seasons. So, you know, going to a 3 at the back formation was always going to take some time. But it does not look good at the moment. They've hardly create any chances. This big summer signing, well, alongside Goodmanson, Colpani. I mean, if you guys watch this channel, you probably know that I like him, but I definitely don't rate him as high. A lot of people started rating him last season. He's already 25. People talked about him as like some sort of young Italian, but he's 25. Fiorentina paid about 15-16 million for him from Monza, but he really only had 1 good half season last year in Monza, and he looks like a fish out of water at the moment at Fiorentina. Gosens, very, very interesting signing. Good to see Gosens back in the Serie A after his short stint at Union Berlin, and scores on his debut last-minute equalizer from a corner, which is, you know, that's what he's good at, Gosens, you know, getting into the box, scoring those goals. So it's good to see him back here. But yeah, this just doesn't look quite right. They've signed Cataldi. They've also signed a few other players, Bove from Roma, Adli from Milan. But yeah, it still looks like a weird mishmash, this Fiorentina team. Palladino's got a lot of work to do. On the other hand, Nesta, as I said, probably one of my picks for maybe first or second coach to be fired. Maybe Fonseca might be the first, but I think Nesta won't be far behind because, again, he's kind of taken on the blueprint from Palladino, but he's not really doing much with it, Nesta. To be fair, they haven't really signed many players for him, but they don't look as good as they have done the last few seasons. Monza, where they were even, you know, comfortably mid-table, whereas this season and I think I'm sticking with my prediction. I think they're going to fight for relegation. They won't get relegated, but I think they're going to fight for relegation. or get into enough of a dogfight that it gets Nesta fired. But good to see Maldini scoring, nice goal, and Juric. But then, yeah, not much off the bench. There's rumors of potentially Perisic going there. That'll be interesting. Well, the Fiorentina and Monza game was a good game to watch goals-wise, but the Juventus for Roma, I watched this game, was not a good game. Very, very tactical. Finally, Juve had a decent opponent to face, after Como and Hellas Verona, now finally a decent opponent. So now, first decent opponent, a draw at home, goalless, not looking as impressive, not looking as smooth. But again, Thiago Motta now has the team. At the beginning, the first two games, he had some excuses, quite rightly. You had to play a lot of young players, very short squad. But now, Cobb Miners is there, Conceição is there, Douglas Luiz is there, Nico Gonzalez came on. He's been given the team. Kalulu was also back in there. So there's no excuses now. But, there's clearly some work to do. Some players are already showing improvement. Gatti is looking a lot better than he ever did before. And Mangul, of course, Cambiaso, Locatelli. But Vlahovic took a bit of a step back again. Big games, Vlahovic seems like he's still struggling. On the other hand, Roma, they do not look good still. Very clunky. Dovbyk barely involved. How many touches did he even have in this game? 82 minutes and only 8 passes attempted and 13 touches. He's just not involved enough. Not that he needs to be. That's his start. He's easy, fox in the box, but he needs to do a little bit more. Sule, Dybala, that continues to be a dilemma. They seem like they're going to struggle to coexist. Salamakers is an interesting signing. The Salamakers Tammy Abraham swap is decent for Roma. But yeah, they've got a lot of work to do. They really struggle to create any decent opportunities. But Manu Kone looked good when he came on. He looked good. But De Rossi has a lot of work to do, and they've only got, how many points have they got? Like 2 points, 3 points? Yeah, 2 points out of 3 games. Not good at all. Udinese Como, Udinese just having just a random start to the season that I did not expect. But, it's essentially the same team from last year. So I guess they got some consistency going. And yeah, fair play to them. They're fighting. They're in the Champions League spots right now, so fair play to them. But the team I wanted to talk about was Como. In 2024, Belotti, Cutrone. I thought this duo would be good enough to keep them up, but Belotti really, really looks finished, really. And the fact that Cutrone is the main guy, in a Belotti-Cutrone partnership, I thought at least Belotti would be the main guy. But actually, no, Cutrone is the main guy, and then he ends up missing the penalty as well. So I think Fabregas was unlucky here. His team definitely did enough to win or at least draw this game, and then Cutrone missing the penalty, but instead they also had lots of chances. Still think they will be fine. They've signed some decent players like Nico Paz, all of Fabregas' friends by the sounds of it, all these Spanish guys or Spanish-speaking guys, but surely there should be enough to get them over the line in terms of relegation. And obviously, we don't need to speak too much about Inter 4-0. You can watch my post-match reaction if you've missed that. Other teams to talk about. Bologna, I watched the Bologna-Empoli match. Bologna, I'm also worried about. I might have to revisit my prediction for Bologna. We're predicting, I think, to finish 8th. They might even finish outside of Europe, to be honest. They're not looking good against the Italiano, and they're going to have Champions League coming in the next few weeks. So I think they're going to struggle with that double header. Very, very much so. And it was nice to see Lecce finally get their first win under their belt. Very, very interesting round of Serie A. You guys let me know in your comments down below. What do you make of the Leao and the Canio situation? Which side are you on? Do you think Leao and Theo were out of order, or do you think people are making out of something out of nothing? What do you make of Juve Roma? Are you worried about this Juve team if you're an Inter fan? Napoli, what do you make of Napoli? Lazio? Yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. What a league. Love this league. Drama always expected on and off the pitch. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Ciao ragazzi, forza Serie A.